So leaving San Francisco was utterly uneventful. A bit of traffic, but that was really about it until we got to the Holiday Inn Express in Oakhurst. There was nothing to report on that journey of nearly 5 hours. So the hotel itself was absolutely fine, very clean, easy to find. Oakhurst is a very, very straightforward layout of one road. It's a very new hotel. It definitely wasn't there last time we were in Oakhurst. Very, very clean, very comfortable. As I said, it's new, so it had that new smell. The bed was extremely comfortable. That really surprised us how good the bed was there. I'm guessing because it's just so new still. And we got there quite late because we still spent a lot of time in San Francisco in the morning, which you may have seen from the other vlog. Yeah, so as soon as we got there, it was getting late. We had no intention of going into Yosemite. We had only about an hour and a half, if that, of daylight left. So we just headed over to, I think it's called Smokehouse 41, which was just opposite the hotel, opposite down the road. It was a couple of minutes away. Had a really nice meal there. We ended up eating there both nights because we enjoyed it so much. So we went back to the room, had a couple of beers, and then we both pretty much just passed out till the next morning. So Saturday is our only full day we have in Yosemite as part of our trip from San Francisco to Vegas. Originally we were supposed to have a little bit longer, but not sure or wasn't sure a couple of weeks before we came if Tioga Pass was going to open. Turns out it was fine, but as a result we cut out the last part, which was supposed to be in Mammoth Lake. So we're just spending 2 nights in Yosemite, or in Oakhurst, which gives us a full day in Yosemite before heading down, and we added Sequoia on the end instead. Just a point to note, when you're entering Yosemite, you do have to pay to reserve your days of entry before going in, which I think is up until September 2022, and that's on top of the actual cost of going in. I'll pop a link in the description below which has more information on that.
We're going into Yosemite, and Tim's driving. We've got an hour to get there.
Well, it's an hour to Tunnel View, so it should be about half an hour to get to the entrance. So we continue our journey to the south entrance of Yosemite. Really easy drive from Oakhurst. It's pretty much just one very scenic road that leads to the south entrance. Another point to note for 2022 is that Glacier Point is closed for the year, so you can't go up there. You'd normally get some incredible views as we did back in 2016, but to be fair, being on such a tight schedule for this trip, this actually ended up helping us make most of the time we had, knowing that we had to cut that out.
Oh, no queue. Perfect. So, welcome to Yosemite. Credit cards only. Your wallet's there.
And as we enter the park, Matt's going to give a bit more information about the price.
Okay, we are now in Yosemite. There was no queue, which was nice. So, yeah, we've done the annual pass, which is $80 for unlimited entry. You can pay $70 for unlimited entry into Yosemite, or $35 for a single trip. Kind of makes sense to do the main one. Yeah, so that's it. Right, we will keep you posted. This is a historical town.
So we continue on, passing some absolutely beautiful areas, but there's also unfortunately some areas which have clearly suffered badly from some recent forest fires. Our first stop, however, is Tunnel View, named simply because you drive through a tunnel and come out the other end to a small parking area where you have the absolute most jaw-dropping view of Half Dome El Capitan and Bridal Veil Falls. Honestly, the pictures here do it absolutely no justice. It just takes your breath away. The sheer beauty of this area, how far you can see, and having these iconic natural landmarks all in front of you like this, it takes your breath away, honestly. From here it's back in the car for a short drive heading down towards the valley floor to the first, or I'll say the next stop here to visit Yosemite Falls, which you can see here, which is basically made up of all of the melting snowpacks from the mountains above. Come sort of end of summer, autumn, this will be completely dried up. So if you want to see this one, you want to come here sort of late winter into spring and early summer. So from a nice walk around that area, is, it's very flat. You can walk. There's quite a lot of walks you can do down there that are very easy to do. We spent our time going around doing a few different ones. But from there, back in the car, and then made our way to, I think we just stopped off by chance. We just saw a car park, so we just sort of rolled up next to it and had a closer look at El Capitan. It's the Valley Loop Trail. So we were just walking around there, kind of got another area where suddenly there were lots of bugs eating us, but we managed to get up close to the bottom part of El Capitan, which is really cool to see. And again, it's another one, the camera doesn't do it justice, the sheer scale of this. People were mountain climbing up there and we didn't even see them at first. It's only by chance we saw, I think, something red floating, and we realized when you look really closely, and there were people dotted all over it, and it was absolutely, it made us feel dizzy just looking at them. So hats off to those people doing that. Absolutely incredible, and I'm sure you can't beat the views they're getting up there, but I'm happy with my 2 feet on the ground. Then again, back in the car and just a short drive on to the actual Yosemite village itself. This is where the main central tourist spot for Yosemite. Anyone that just likes jumping in the car and doing what we do, when you're tight with time, you're just hopping around each place. There's no camping. We can't bring camping gear anyway. We're not sticking that on a plane. Had a look around, spent a couple of hours here. We brought some lunch with us that we made back in the hotel from the local supermarket. We weren't quite sure exactly what the food plan was going to be for the day, but it worked out perfectly. So we just spent some time there. We walked around a Native American sort of mock-up site, which was really interesting to see. And just in a few shops. I will say it was absolutely packed down here. I think it's great to see everyone out. I think everyone's making up now for lost time. So just keep that in mind. Just really plan ahead. I know most of the hotels within Yosemite often get booked up 12 months in advance. So really, if you're going to go and you can't get a hotel in Yosemite, then I would always say Oakhurst. I'm sure there's some towns north, but Oakhurst I found was a really good location to get in. But yeah, sorry, going back to the centre, we spent a couple of hours in the Yosemite village itself before heading back in the car, making our way back through the way we came. As I said, the original plan was to spend a lot longer in fewer places before the following day. We were going to spend the whole day going back through areas and making our way over Tioga Pass. The reason we didn't choose Tioga, as I think I've mentioned before, was because we didn't know it would still be potentially closed. In the end it wasn't. It did open about 2 weeks before we went there, 2.5 weeks, but you know, being UK based, we wanted to make sure we were fully prepared, so we decided instead to cut off the stay we were going to have in Mammoth Lakes on the east side of Yosemite, and we ended up finishing by having a hotel in Bakersfield just as a stop-off point. So to finish off the Yosemite area, we came back out and we made our way to Hetch Hetchy Reservoir. It was a bit of a last minute thing. We ended up having a little bit more time than we anticipated. We thought we were going to be super tight, but with Glacier Point not open, that did give us some time back. And we'd looked at going there before and we didn't, so we said, okay, this time we'll make our way there. And yeah, that was an interesting place to go, particularly knowing what other dams and reservoirs are looking like in particularly the southwest, thinking of Lake Mead. It was nice to see one that was full and bursting with water, so and it was just interesting to see the scale of these things, to think how they were built in the first place always amaze me. And then from Hetch Hetchy, it was the long drive back to Oakhurst. You had to be out at a particular time, and they said if you're not out of the Hetch, if you're not out of that dam area by a particular time, you'll get locked in. So it was quite making sure we had to get out of there. But then once you're out, the only time you had really was to get back to the hotel. There wasn't enough daylight to do anything else around there, so made our way back to Oakhurst, had dinner again in the same place, the smokehouse opposite, a couple of drinks to just relax before the next day, which we checked out the hotel for, and to get us ready for the journey south on Sunday. So Sunday morning, after a good night's sleep, we packed up, checked out, and made our way down towards Sequoia. So as I said, Sequoia wasn't originally part of the trip plan. It was going to be Mammoth Lakes and the east side of Yosemite, but due to us changing that hotel booking at the end, we ended up staying in, had moved our booking to Bakersfield, so we decided to use that day to go and explore Sequoia National Park. We've done that one before, we enjoyed it. It was really beautiful scenes up from up there, because you go so high up. I remember the road being a very windy road up, which I forgot quite how windy it was when we were doing this one again. But yeah, really nice sort of relaxing drive up there. It took a little while to get to the actual bottom of the park, and then as you're going up, you see the enormous giant sequoia trees, which are I think the largest trees by mass in the world. And Sequoia National Park is home to some very famous ones, including the Sentinel and of course the General Sherman tree, which I believe the General Sherman tree is the largest tree in the world by volume, which is just crazy to think that someone's actually gone, yep, of all the trees in the world, this is the biggest by mass. Crazy. It's just everything's just so much bigger around there. It's absolutely insane, and it was to see all those enormous trees, and they are huge trees, and you might be thinking it's a tree, come on, but they are not like anything you see anywhere else. It's just huge. The walk down to the General Sherman is quite a long walk down, quite a long routed steps, going through the woodland, so it's okay going down. Coming back up, it is quite tiring, so take your time. It has got warnings on there because you're quite high, the air's thinner. Sun was strong, but the air felt cool, so it's all these mixed different so it's sort of the different exposed elements, I suppose. Yeah, I remember the walk up thinking this feels way harder than it should be. But yeah, well worth it. Definitely, if you're around there, go to Sequoia. It takes a while to get up there, a while to get back down, but when you're up there, there are all these different walks you can do. And yeah, it's well worth it. Absolutely beautiful area. And it was nice that it's still, I don't know, it sounds, not to sound negative, but a lot of the areas we've drove through on this trip have unfortunately been victims of forest fires. I really hope, really pray that that doesn't happen into these more well-known areas. It's a tragedy anywhere it happens, and I know, you know, with the continued dry spell, California is struggling with forest fires. So I just hope, you know, it doesn't destroy these areas, and urge you all to get there, certainly while you still can.
These trees are huge. Did you know that a giant sequoia, when it's finished growing tall, rounds off at the top, and then it will just get thicker? Smaller ones, like these, have pointy tops and lots of branches at the bottom, and the branches fall off. I mean, honestly, you can see a person just there. That's how big these are. This particular tree, which I'll show you in a second, it's two combined. Ed and Ned. Of Ed by Ned. Okay, the nickname given. That's the size of the base, represented in tile, paving slab, sorry. If we go over here and have a look, they grew so close that they ended up growing together. No, that's a Timothy. So that's Ed by Ned. So it's one tree, and you start to see it split into two, because it is two. My God, I sound like a simpleton. So we're at the Grand Sherman. It's huge. And these are people, you can see. Let's look.
And there we go, there's a very quick show round tour of Yosemite and Sequoia. I hope you've enjoyed watching. We're just now making our way down to Bakersfield for the evening. We're just literally there for just to stop off on the way to Vegas. So we just got a night down there. There's a separate room review, or there will be surely going up for that one. We've got room reviews of everywhere we go, so please do check out the channel if you're just interested in looking at, you know, unbiased, unfiltered no fake photos from the websites, from the hotels, if you want to see what these places are really like. You know, we're not sponsored by anyone, we pay for everything ourselves, so you know, we've no problem telling you if it's good or bad. And yeah, please do hit that thumbs up if you enjoyed, do subscribe. We're new to the vlogging. We're now adding vlogging of our trips on. The Yosemite one, I'll be honest, wasn't really planned to vlog, which is why I'm doing so many voiceovers on this one. But I ended up putting some stuff together just to complete the San Francisco, Yosemite, Vegas trip. Check out the Vegas vlog. That's a short 15-minute one. Check out the Vegas one. That's a 6-parter one. Yeah, again, please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone that's been subscribing recently. Really appreciate all you guys. It's really given us a boost to continue doing these. And yeah, I will see you in our next video. I think we've got a couple to go up in the next month or so, but our next big America trip, our next Vegas one, we've got November coming up. We're going to have a vlog from Prague shortly after that. And we've already got some stuff booked for 2023, Boston, New York. So yeah, please subscribe, and I will see you guys all very soon. Bye for now.